be from EPCC Culinary Arts, presented by Chef Nickerson, Chef Diaz, Chef Gutierrez, and their team from EPCC Culinary Arts. This session will be recorded so that you may come back to it later if you need, and so others who may have missed out on today's events will be able to come and watch it. Thank you. So now, at this time, please mute your mics for the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with information we will be sharing today. Without further ado, here's our culinary team.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, guys. Welcome. My name is Chef Diaz. I'll be your chef instructor for today. I'm recording right now. We have Chef Gutierrez. Both of us, we're both lab assistants here at EPCC Culinary. We're gonna go ahead and take care of this demo for you. I just have a question. This is a half an hour video, correct? Or 50 minutes? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to make for you guys today, and I did jump in when I heard you guys were, I believe it was Patricia asking you guys to raise your hand if you have any questions. I will have Chef Gutierrez manning the chat session, so in case you have any questions, since I'll be over here cooking, I won't be able to see it. But please let us know if you have any questions. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, today we're gonna make chicken Balantine. Okay, and that's gonna be your protein. And that is a deboned chicken leg and thigh that is stuffed, what we like to call a roulade. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. I already have one set up for you. I thought this video was a half hour. My apologies. So I kind of made it a little bit of a TV time, or TV magic, if you want to refer to that. But at least we'll have time for some more questions. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. For starters, and I have a small screen up here, guys, to look at. So my apologies if I don't get everything locked in, so you guys can get a great view of it. All right, I think that's good. So what we're gonna go ahead and start with is I'm gonna start with my vegetables. Okay, and the reason for that, instead of doing the chicken, is I don't wanna do any cross-contamination. Okay, what I do have, guys, and it's a roasted vegetable medley that I love to use for my family here at the college. You know, we have any caterings. It's just one of my favorite go-tos. Here I have some baby carrots. Can you see? Yeah, there it is. Okay, that I just cut up. You can use any kind of carrots if you want. But the one thing you want to focus on is get a uniform cut. Okay, so it's just something we stress here to the students in our program. Okay, red onions. Again, I'm going for color here. You can use white. You have your yellow onions. You can use shallots, which are a little bit more pricey, but they are slightly sweeter, very delicious. But here I just have basic red onions. Okay. The one thing I do want to show you, okay, is a bell pepper. These are a little bit pricey, I understand. So if you can find a good price on them, and you do love bell peppers, I would definitely buy some. You can stuff them with, a rice and, ground beef or ground turkey for those of you that love ground turkey. I know a lot of my family members do. I can't eat that every week, every day, and they make fun of me, but I guess, it's a two-way street. I make fun of them. Like, well, how can you eat turkey? I just eat turkey for Thanksgiving. Maybe another time, a carb, maybe a turkey roulade or so. But anyways, move this aside. All right, so your bell pepper, already washed, ready to go. The one thing you want to do, of course, sharp knife, everything is sanitized. You do have a towel underneath, and I'm using a lot of force. Want to make sure, it's all about safety and sanitation first, right? Okay, so when doing your bell pepper, a lot of people will go ahead, and I've seen will cut the ends off. Okay, well, that was, that's how I was taught in the beginning, not by my culinary instructor, who is Dean Webb, Chef. I know him as Chef Webb. He was my instructor. But this is like how my mom taught me. After taking culinary school, of course, we're taught to, you want to focus on your yield product. Okay. This here, your stem would be considered your waste. Small percentage, your vein inside your seeds, all that would be considered waste. What would be, this is 100%. You're looking at about maybe, I'd say 95, 93% would be edible portion, or your usable product, however you want to look at it, what you can consume. Okay, because remember, you are paying for this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, that's all I did. There's a little vein right there I'm gonna take out, but I'm staying close to the root end. Okay, so you should end up, oh, sorry, I'm up, showing up here. You should end up with something like this. Okay. Of course, we have our waste over here. Excellent. So now what I'm going to do is take off what's also known as the pith, but that would be the white veiny part. Okay. Again, guys, don't be afraid to stop me. And I would say, if you don't mind, maybe chiming in if I don't answer you guys, because the gentleman, the Chef Zeke Gutierrez, he is running around taking care of other stuff. Okay, so right now it's if he's not here, I'm gonna be manning the video. So if you need to chime in, please, Patricia, somebody, let me know if there's a question.
There is a question.
Great.
Do some colors of bell pepper have a different flavor than other bell peppers? Does the color matter? They all
To me, no. I would say no, it's just color that you're focused on. Of course, green would be your less expensive. Honestly, I do have a family member who loves bell peppers, and he says that the yellow and the red are more, or have a sweeter taste. I really don't get that. I think it's just because you're paying more for this, so it makes you feel like, wow, I can taste the sweetness. Well, okay, your wallet's probably tasting that, but you know what I mean? Like, I really don't see a difference in that. Great question. Anything else?
No other questions so far.
Excellent. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, so what I'm gonna do is continue to cut this bell pepper, and it's up to you how you want to do it. You want to do a julienne. I'm gonna go lengthwise. You want to make a smaller julienne, which would be a strip on both ends, on both cuts. Depends how you want what you want to do. So for here, I'm gonna look at what I have already, okay, and I want to focus off of this. If I do long strips lengthwise, well, it really wouldn't make sense because these are smaller. So I'm gonna go ahead and cube these. Okay, just cut them in half. Clean station always, 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 always. Even though it's the holidays, I understand we're more relaxed. But guys, gotta work clean, and above all, just no cross contamination. Just work smarter, not harder. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. Like I said, this is totally up to you how you want to cut them.
Do you have any knife safety tips?
Knife safety tips. Yes. All right. So when cutting anything, for example, an onion, it might be I have a yellow squash right here. Anything you cut, before you actually get into the cut itself, you want to focus on your knife. A dull knife, you have more tendencies of cutting yourself with a dull knife. And that's because you're struggling, the knife slips, and it, nicks you somewhere. Okay? Sharp knife is the way to go. Okay? If you guys are this is a question I always had growing up when I started school. And there are certain knives out there that, they shouldn't be in a house. They shouldn't be used by anybody, in my opinion. And you kind of get what you pay for. So I thought, well, Mom, you're always cooking. Grandma, you're always cooking. Why don't you guys some awesome knives, invest like $50, $100, because you use it every day. You know what I mean? And they were like, no, it's too expensive. I'm like, I understand, but it to me, it's just the chef knife is everything. Like, this is what makes or breaks me, in my opinion. And of course there's other factors, but if my knife is dull and I start, for example, this recording, this demo, I'm pretty much, I'm already failing in my opinion. Okay, it's got to be sharp, because you want to have uniform cuts through and through, and using a honing blade. Just invest in a great quality knife and equipment. A steel is another thing you want to use. I don't have one. Like I said, I already used it. I already sharpened my knives. I used it beforehand. I'm ready to go, and that's what we call mise en place. You want to be ready. Everything's waiting for you. And for those of you that are curious, I don't work for Wusthof, but I do, I own Wusthof knives. Okay, they are great products. I get those from Bed Bath & Beyond. They used to have a special where you could, or not special, but you could bring them back, and they'll give you a percentage off if it's dinged, or anything happens to them. I believe they stopped that, and my wife keeps telling me it's because of me, because I would always take them back like every year, because I use them all the time, and I want them to be fresh, ready to go. Because like I said, last thing I want to do is cut myself. So anyway, moving forward, sharp knife, ready to go. One thing you want to focus on is curling your fingers. Okay, that doesn't mean, ladies, or gentlemen, whoever, if you have long nails, that's why we stress to the students to keep your nails cut. You don't want those digging into the protein, the vegetable, whatever it might be. Okay, you want to go ahead and lightly press. Okay, firm, but not too aggressive. Okay, the blade of the knife, make sure you guys can see, will never go above the knuckle. Okay, never go above the knuckle. It's always going to be rubbing against it. That's why when you see some chefs, if you guys watch Food Network or anything, they're cutting without actually looking at the cutting board. Okay, because we know where that knife blade is. It's below our knuckle. Once you raise it up, chances are your knuckle's going to slip, your hand's going to slip, and you're going to come down right on your knuckle, and you don't want to do that. Okay? Great question. I hope I answered that. I know it kind of went like 5 minutes on that, but
It was a great one.
I'm sorry?
It was a great answer. Thank you, sir. We have
Okay, great.
question.
Thank you.
Another question, it says from Marisol, it says, is it true that if a bell pepper ends with 3 bumps, it's a male, and if it's 4, it's a female?
Oh my God. You know what? I completely forgot about that one. Yes, there was. Guys, I'm a completely honest person. Like if I don't remember an answer, and I remember telling my students that in the past. I just haven't spoke about bell peppers in a very long time. Wow, Mando, three bumps on a bell pepper is a female, or you remember that? No. Okay. Yeah, I even got one of the other chefs caught off guard. But yes, I do remember hearing that, and my apologies. Wow, what does that say? Everyone's laughing. I'm definitely gonna Google that after this session's over. Okay? What other questions we have?
That's it, Chef. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Well, you stopped me, so great job, guys. No, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now let's move on to we have orange with the carrots, we have red with the bell peppers, we have purple with the onions, and now we're gonna get into some yellow Okay. And there's a reason, like I said, I showed you how to do the bell peppers, because that's one. I believe everybody or most people know how to cut an onion. Might not be precise to the, to a specific cut that we teach here, but still, you guys can, as long as you get them uniform, making chile con queso, using it to make a French onion soup. Of course, we can all execute that, which does take some practice, but with the right equipment, a slicer, a sharp knife, of course, we can get that done. Yellow zucchini. This one I am going to take off the end piece. Okay. See how small it is? Okay. We want to minimize our waste. I'm only going to use a small percentage of this. So let's say I'm going to cut like, it's a little more than a third. Yeah. All right. So we cut it in half. Okay. This is what bothers me when and I'm not being negative, I promise. Whenever I get squash from a restaurant, I understand this is still edible products, but this is what makes this is what gets mushy first. Okay. So you can go ahead and cut this however you want and use it. Just don't overcook it. But if you plan to fry these, if you want to, which they call zucchini or squash sticks, I would recommend taking off just a small little section. Okay. There's still a little bit more, and you guys can see how much that. I mean, that is a lot of waste. But this is what gets mushy. And if you don't mind mushy, then by all means use it. I don't like it. Okay. But if you guys ever make me something, I'll eat whatever you guys make. So I want to make that clear. That's your homework, by the way. You got to make me something. All right. So these I'm going to go ahead and cut. Let's get these. And you can use the back of the, you can use the back of the squash itself, lay it flat, somewhat flat, or you can keep it like so, which is an actual flat surface. So it's not going to rock on you. And you can go ahead and, you can see, right? You can go ahead and just do a little wedge cut like so. Totally up to you. And of course, with a sharp knife, I'm able to, continue the flow of the cut without having to hold it, and so there's no resistance. A knife's gonna do wonders for you. All right, we're gonna saute these vegetables, guys, later on. Sorry, there's some guys here. Okay, I'm gonna saute these vegetables later on. I do have some salt and pepper, some oil, and one thing I'm gonna show you before we get that started, the vegetables, is I'm gonna show you how to paste some garlic, which is the one thing I love to show people. It's fun, it's exciting. I do make it part of my students. When I was teaching, I do make it a part of their, their practical. Why? Because, well, for one, so they can continue to exercise they can exercise the, pasting garlic instead of buying minced garlic, which, guys, in my opinion, and I hate to be negative, but I'm not a fan of that minced garlic that they have at the store. There's a garlic paste in a tube, which I do like. You can buy whole garlic itself. I would recommend to preserve it longer. Do get a little bit, put it in a container like so, like a deli cup like this, maybe like half a cup, and then do about enough oil to cover, and I mean olive oil. And right there, you have garlic ready to use. It's the same thing I did, every other place I worked at. I started doing it at Mason Street Bar and Grill, where I worked at with the coordinator, Chef Guerra. And they're the ones that actually taught me how to do that. I thought it was just come over here and chopping garlic and then using it right away. No, there's smarter ways. And that was actually my first restaurant that I worked. and it was amazing. It was incredible. All right, okay, guys. So now we got the vegetables out of the way. I do have mashed potatoes that I went ahead and peeled, uniform cut, put them in cold salted water, okay, and went ahead and put it on a low flame. And I started these like an hour before we started. Even though it's very little, you guys can see, okay? You don't want to boil these, okay? They are uniform cuts, like I said. They are small, not too small. Like they were maybe about an inch by, no, like say half an inch by half an inch. And the reason why you want to have cold water and low flame is because you don't want to cook the outside first before the inside cooks. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Is everybody asleep? Oh, there you go. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia, have I done a video for you before? Or is this the first one?
I think maybe you have in a previous TVE. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we have so many, which I love. It's just like, it's incredible when we talk to the chefs. Some chefs, they really don't want to be in front of a camera. They rather be in front of a class. Or like being on, like, there's some that just don't want to be on a recording. And I'm not talking about chefs here, but just like everywhere. Like, it's incredible. Like I'm not, and I'm telling you from myself, from my experience, to be recorded so somebody can watch a video later. I'm not great at that. But I'm not saying I'm great at this. I just love this more than being recorded and somebody watching it later. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like you would think all chefs would be like, yeah, I want to be in front of a camera. Yeah, why not? I do know one chef that likes to do that, but I won't say his name.
It's great for all students to see what y'all do. And EPCC
Oh, yeah.
Culinary Arts is a great program.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So we have those potatoes already. They're already cooked. They're drained. I do have them on a pot here. There was a little bit of excess liquid. The flames that we have, you guys can see, the flames that we have here, that's the pilot. That is hot enough, because this has been sitting there for about 15 minutes. It is hot enough to evaporate the water that's in here, okay? If you have a large amount of, this was just one potato. If you have a large amount of potatoes you are cooking at home for your, like for Thanksgiving, of course you don't have to do this. It just, if you don't want like a liquidy product, you want it somewhat dry, even though you're gonna add more fat to it, more flour. I'm sorry, more heavy cream. You can put your potatoes after they're drained in a sheet pan, on a sheet pan lined with parchment paper, my preference, and then pop them in the oven to dry them out. What I did here, like I said, I just left it on the stove. We don't have that luxury at home because our pilots are shifted more outside of the center. Okay, so I use this to my advantage, and it's already dry. You guys can see. I know it doesn't look appealing, but it will in a little bit. Okay, so another thing that I have here ready for me, heavy cream. Okay, you don't have to use heavy cream. You can use milk. Okay, you can use evaporated milk, soy milk, whatever you'd like. Here I went ahead and I mashed up two garlic cloves, mashed them up real quick, threw them in with a little bit of butter and thyme, fresh thyme. I'm gonna add that. Of course, it's hot. If you're making potatoes for later on, you want to let them cool down, then there's no reason to keep your heavy cream hot. But this is what I call mise en place. Like I said, it's ready for you. All you gotta do is strain it inside, put a little, whatever you need. The rest of it, you can strain it all completely, or just put it in a small little deli cup and pop it in the fridge for another time, okay? But the butter itself, the heavy cream with about 35% fat, guys, that's like, yes, I know it might sound a little bit fattening, but it's delicious flavor, and I'm not using too much of it, okay? All these vegetables make up for all that delicious fat. Do we all agree? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, man. All right. Mouths are watery. No, okay. Yes, here. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Now I'm gonna get started with the chicken Balantine. All right. You guys having fun so far? You guys enjoying it? How we doing? Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Awesome. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I did do this demo last week, and I do appreciate that we have 15 minutes now. I thought it was 30, but 15 minutes is great. I don't feel as rushed with the 30 demo, but we still make it happen. Okay. But now I want to explain to you guys. Okay, I did this last week. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago. In case somebody wasn't in the mood for Thanksgiving. It was a Thanksgiving, theme for the demo. To do a turkey Balantine, it would take too long to cook within 30 minutes. So I decided to go ahead and do a chicken Balantine. Like I said, your chicken thigh and leg combined. We debone it. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go ahead and roll it, butcher or stuff it, butcher twine it, sear it, season it, sear it, cook it in the oven, slice it, admire it, and then eat. I never put that admire. I think that works now. Okay, so here we go. Something different, guys. Instead of a plain old chicken breast or a chicken tender that's, battered and fried, nothing wrong with that, of course. But this is one thing I love to do. I love cinnamon rolls, which a lot of my coworkers, they're laughing at me right now because I said that. But, it's a cinnamon roll is a roulade. Roll it up. It's the same thing with this. Okay, but this is savory. Okay. So all I did, guys, just imagine your chickens like so. You want to check where your separation is, and that's right here. Okay? Which is this this piece. And you can feel it. You want to get yourself a sharp paring knife. And I went ahead and got started it for you guys. Like I said, my apologies. I thought it was a 30-minute video. No biggie, but we're ahead of the ball game. I get to talk more. Awesome. So from the actual bone itself, we're going to do a slit all the way through to the end piece, the end knuckle, okay? The joint. And that's what I did. A little bit, and then use your fingers to kind of separate it. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Now, it's going to be a little tricky at first, guys, but just focus on where the bone's at. That's what you want to. That's what you want to look at. Okay. Do a little slit. Try to get as close to the bone as you can. Okay. Now, once I feel like I've moved enough meat, and you can use the back of the knife too. Okay. Which I'm going to show you when I remove this piece. Okay. So the one thing you want to do is when you remove enough meat, pretend this is your bone. I like to put my finger slowly around it until my fingertips can touch, which I have here. Okay, you can see my other finger sticking out. That's what I want for now. I do both sides. Okay, so now I have both of my fingers sticking through. We're good to go. Let's continue. Now, and you want to let the gravity, be your friend. Have it hanging down. You guys can see there's just this little slit I need to make to remove. And I know I say it's easy because, and I didn't say it the first time I was taught by Dean Webb, but with practice, I was able to accomplish it. And I can't stop making it. It's just, whether it's French, whether it's, Italian, whatever it might be. I even made one with some fried rice. I stuffed it with some sauteed mushrooms, sesame oil, a touch of ginger, garlic, lemongrass, add a little bit of mirin for some sweetness, stuffed it, seared it with some more sesame oil. What else did I do? I think I made like a teriyaki sauce, a real light one to deglaze. I reduced it so it can concentrate. I sliced it. Oh, I'm sorry. See what happens when I keep going? Like, but I mean, there's so many different, cuisines you can make with just this one, chicken. It's incredible. I think I'm hungry. I think that's all right. If I start blabbing or keep blabbing, tell me. So this is what I was telling you guys. The back of your knife. Don't use the actual sharp, okay? Sharp end, because you will dull it. I'm scraping down. Okay? Everybody with me so far? How we doing? Hello.
Looks like we're good so far, Chef.
Excellent. I was about to start singing Adele. Hello. It's me. No, I'm not going to sing, I promise you. I made a promise that I wouldn't sing anymore. Nobody likes my singing around here. All right. So I'm just cutting off little excess meat, and it's kind of color coded for you guys. Okay? You have, your knuckle over here, and then you have your dark meat, because of course thighs, legs, they are dark meat. So you can kind of know where, if you're getting close, you can just experiment with it a little bit if you want, just to see the actual, the breakdown of the whole bone itself. All right, so I'm not gonna focus on that too much right now because it's already pretty much, for the most part, squared away, except this little bit on the bottom. So just parallel with the bone itself. Now, same thing with this side, how it was attached, the little piece that was here. Same thing I want to do here. I want to go ahead, and you can trim off a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and take my knife under it, still keeping close to the bone itself. Okay? The one thing you don't want is to puncture. We don't see any punctures, right? That's the one thing you don't. That's why you want to get as close as you can without puncturing the fat itself. Okay? Presentation is key. Even if you're making it for yourself, I still, even if I'm making it for, like I said, my wife, my friends, I don't ever take a back seat and just, oh, I have some punctures. All right, no. So presentation is always key even if I'm not at work. Okay. And I hope it's, for the students, I hope they're I'm pretty sure they're practicing the same thing because they'll turn in videos with some great work. They're still focusing on technique that we show them. That makes us proud. Okay. All right. So now that we removed the bone, and please keep this, it makes a delicious stock. And I'm going to show you the stock that I make. Well, it's a glace de viande, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So keep this, all your bones, your wishbones, your carcasses, all that can be used for stock, even the wings itself. So when you're when you're at home and you're buying chicken, even here at school, guys, if it's boneless, skinless, that's great. That's work for you. I like to go ahead and buy a whole chicken for one, because I get to control the amount of fat that's distributed on my Balantine. Okay, if I'm doing a Galantine, that would be a whole chicken. Okay, that one would be fabricated, the whole skin, which would fill up this whole cutting board, breast. So that would be a huge roulade. Okay, but either way, regardless of what you're making, if you're buying boneless, if you're doing it, deboning yourself, you want to feel for any excess bones, guys. And this is, joking aside, there's one right here, and you go through, and it does happen. Big corporations, Tyson, whoever it might be, they do make mistakes. Everybody does. Nobody's perfect, but that's what they strive to be, just like us. Just take your time. So all I feel is this right here. There we go. Excellent. Nope. There's another one right here. So yeah, it doesn't matter how long you cook that, you don't want to choke on that. It'll still be there to say hello to you later on if you don't remove it. Now, spinach and apples is what we're gonna stuff this bad boy with. Okay? Apples themselves, you can leave them raw. After you cut them, of course, you don't have to peel them. I would for something like this, but again, it's up to you. Set them in an ice bath with a little bit of acid. You don't have to put the ice. I just like putting it. That's just something I do. Not a big deal, but for sure you need to have the acid in there. Lemon juice, vinegar, something like that. If you want to cook them, by all means, go ahead and saute them. A little bit of olive oil or butter, your call. These are cooked. The spinach itself is slightly wilted. Okay. So that's the mixture I have here. Right? So the spinach itself is not completely wilted. I just I did a little quick saute with them and the apples first. Again, it's your call how far you want to take them. The one thing you want to do is season them. Season everything. That's what we're going to do here. So salt and pepper is all we focus on. Okay, nothing else. Less is more. We focus on the basics here. It's not about adding all these fancy ingredients, and that's the beautiness about going to culinary school, becoming a chef, is the basics. It's all about the basics, guys, in my opinion. Okay, that can make you a wonderful chef. And thinking about so many things, like us winterizing the commissary. Look, we're gonna go on break. Stuff that's about to go bad. A chef can throw all this expensive stuff together and make a dish, great. But it's not just about cooking; it's about behind the scenes stuff. Controlling your food costs is key. Okay, just throwing stuff away makes it easy on yourself. Well, it's gonna hurt you later on because that's money going down the drain, for example. So, sorry, I'm going off on different tangents here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this glove off. My hands are washed. Go ahead and grab a little bit of salt that's left aside for me right here. I'm gonna put a little bit of spinach. Can you overstuff something? Yes. But if you were to take this spinach, wilt it all the way down, end up with like half of this. And of course, spinach does contain water. You want to squeeze out all that excess liquid. All right. Okay, so now we have our chicken seasoned. We have our spinach. We have our apples. I'm going to show you how to butcher twine. How we wrap, for example, a tenderloin that you might buy. Even though it's not stuffed, you still want to butcher twine it, okay? Because that'll give you an even product, an even sear, and even cooking all the way. All right, so here we go. Lengthwise, I'm going to go ahead and, so I get more of a roulade. This is the fun part. Okay, kind of like doing sushi. So you see, I didn't fill all of it up because I believe it has enough stuffing in the center itself. If this chicken was longer, then obviously I would put more. But just like making sushi, you want to stop. I'd say go about maybe 2/3 up, or even just a half.
We have a question, Chef. They want to
Yes,
know, is it true that we have to look for an umami flavor in every dish? That's why we have to combine different flavors and textures? Umami?
You're talking about an umami flavor?
Yes, that's what they're asking. Umami flavor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
in each dish.
I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's okay.
Marisol asked, is it true that we have to look for a umami flavor in every dish? That's why we always combine different flavors and textures.
Oh, I mean, I would say yes, and that's the joy of cooking. You know, like bottom line, like a certain dish that's made one way, well, you know what? It can be made. You can always change a dish, the flavor profile, whatever it might be, presentation. You can always change it. When focused on the umami flavor, I mean, it's. Oh wow. I mean, wow. No one's ever asked that question. They're asking about the umami flavor. So like, you know, like talking about different dishes, you know, like you should look for that. Different ways you could, you know, approach. Wow. Um, huh. Um, that's not something I've ever taught my class. I know one of the chefs, David Chang, from Mama Fuku. I know he stresses all about umami flavor. If anybody's ever looked and seen any of his videos, um, he's a great chef. But he does talk a lot about umami and you know, that one flavor that you know you obviously can't find in the store, but you can create it somehow. You know, by you know, like I said, the joy of cooking. You know, different. Uh, wow. Am I sort of answering this question? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just
I think you did,
my
Chef.
mouth.
The joy of cooking, most definitely.
Yeah, it's you know like different sections of on the palate, you know, and on your tongue, you know, like for salty, sugar, sweet, you know, or the sweet, sorry, like all those different, you know, sections on, like I said, on your tongue, you know, like where does the umami pop? Where does it hit? You know what I mean? Um, wow. Okay. Uh, you have anything to say about?
I mean, you were going to say, I was going to say the same thing. And I think for every person it's different.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, so one reason why, you know, like I became a chef, you know, is yes, I love to eat sweets, but the one thing I love to focus on more is the savory part of cooking. That to me, and that's part of umami. Like it's just, oh wow. How long have I been talking for? It's already 1:40. Wow. Okay. Well, so it's hard to explain. Like the one thing I did great, and guys, sorry, I'm butcher twining, so if you guys want to just follow along while I speak, great or not. But the one thing I did at my mom's house was I created something out of nothing. If I had a show on Food Network, it would be exactly that. Go into somebody's house, show them how to create a savory dish off of the ingredients that they have in their very own home without having to go to the store and buy expensive product. Does that make sense? We're good?
Yes, Chef. Yes, Chef.
Cool.
What kind of knots are you making?
So I just did just a regular knot. If you want to do it twice, you know, twice is nice. That'd be great. I just did one here, but I'm tying it super as hard as I can. Okay, so that's where it starts. Okay, so all I did was go underneath, you know, like you're tying a shoe, do a knot, but of course tighter. Now, here's the tricky part. Grab your twine on both sides, underneath. Okay, I haven't switched hands; they're in the same hand. Okay, you go underneath with one end. Now, what I'm doing, just so I can line up my sear, my butcher twine, I'm picking it up from this side. Okay, you guys see how it's moving to my left? And then now as I pull it forward, there we go. Okay, One more time. Underneath, under and over. See how it's on this side? That's why I pick it up from here. And I'm moving it out underneath. Now it's shifting over. There we go. Okay. Pretty sure we've seen that, somewhere in the butcher shop, maybe on TV. But that gives you a uniform sear, cook all the way through and through, and it's a beautiful presentation. All right. So now underneath, that's going to hold my skin here. So I went pretty much all the way around, guys, to give me some strength on the outside. And now we're just going to tie it again. I'm going to put it underneath this side. I just want to tie it. Okay? And then I'm going to, of course, tie it again. But just as we're running short on time, I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys. Of course, we can trim this off too. What do you guys think? Pretty easy? Awesome. Sweet. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wash my hands. All right. Hands are washed. Our chicken is, and I did one ahead of time, guys. Our chicken is in the oven. We're going to check that in a little bit. Another reason why I love making a chicken Balantine, guys, I know it's dark meat, a little bit fattier, obviously, than a chicken breast. But you have that extra fat to compensate for all that moisture being lost, okay? And you have a fat skin on the outside. Once you get it beautifully rendered, and I'll show you when it comes out of the oven. Beautiful sear, not blackened. We're not ordering Cajun style, right? So sear it on all sides if possible. Pop it in the oven. And all I used was a little bit of olive oil. All that rendered fat that comes from the skin itself is going to help. Okay, so you don't have to put like a whole cup of oil, for example. All right, so I'm going to get on the potatoes real quick.
They would like to know the time and temperatures, Chef.
Time and temperatures, great. 165 is the internal temperature you want to hit for chicken. 165 is also internal temperature if you were to reheat that chicken or anything else. Anything that gets reheated needs to be at 165 for at least 15 seconds, okay? But of course, chicken, pop your digital thermometer, which I prefer. I got one here. I buy them from, I don't think it's a problem me telling you guys, but webstront.com. So it's like restaurant, but webstront. I would recommend getting involved with family, everybody in this chat, in this video, whoever, to buy in bulk. Because if you buy one thing, it's not worth it because they're going to charge you about $20 shipping. But anyway, that's why I buy mine. And time, you want to go, it depends on the size itself of the chicken, but I would say check it in about 10 minutes, 10 to 15. I did go longer on the sear here, so I would probably check it in about 10 minutes. Okay.
What would
So
be the
potatoes.
temperature? Sorry. What would be the oven
Go ahead.
temperature? The
I
oven,
can say again.
the oven.
Oh, the oven temperature, sorry, 350. 350 degrees is what you want. If you didn't execute a great sear on your chicken itself, It's not a bad thing. I would just raise the temperature in your oven. Okay, the hotter, it's like cooking a turkey or a rib roast. The hotter the temperature, especially for a small piece of meat, you don't want to overcook that. So you want to go ahead and add high temperature to get that beautiful sear. That's why, to eliminate that, I do my sear out here and I just pop it in so we can get that internal temperature at 165. Okay. All right. The potatoes itself, guys, I'm doing them. Like I said, it's only one potato, so you can use as long as they're cooked, they're completely cooked, fork tender. You can use a spatula itself. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of my cream. The aroma of this is just intoxicating. Like it's thyme. You know how Lay's talks about, what's the next flavor chip? I would do thyme, butter, and garlic. They come out with a chip like that, I'll probably have a couple and then I won't eat anymore. But look how creamy, delicious. Okay? And all we do is add a little bit more salt, or add salt and pepper to it. I have my tasting spoons over here. All right. Excellent. Saute pan. I'm gonna start the veggies, guys. While this is getting hot, so if you guys can see, what I made here, super dark, looks like maybe like molasses, okay? This is a glace de viande, okay? So meat ice cream, it's, basically it's stock, any kind of beef, any kind of meat stock that's reduced. And I love using this, guys. I did it for Thanksgiving. I use it for, healthy cooking classes. Instead of your adding, when we deglaze our pan for our chicken, instead of adding butter and heavy cream to make a sauce, you can stick with this. And this has concentrated, delicious flavor. One reason why you never salt a stock, and that's on a whole different topic, but you don't salt a stock for this reason. If we were to have a salted stock reduced, this would be extremely salty. But guys, I tried this. I had my coworker try this. It's gorgeous. Like, I can't explain how delicious it is. Okay? But the only way you can get this is if you make your own stock. Reduce it. Oh, yeah. Delicious stuff right here, guys. Any questions about that? Just a stock that's reduction stock. Reduced stock. Nobody? Okay. All right, guys. I got another cutting board over here. Real quick, I'm going to show you about the garlic itself. In about a minute or two, if you don't mind checking the chicken, please. So I'm going to show you real quick on the garlic paste itself. Take off your root ends, if you guys saw that. On the bottom, I can't see what you guys are seeing. All right, so smash it. Be very careful when doing this because it will slide on you. I'm not being super aggressive. I'm not pounding it. Just smashing it to get it started. A little bit of salt, help release all those juices, keeps everything intact. Give it a little chop. Just start it off, and then here's where the fun goes. Knife parallel with the board itself. And you're done. Pretty easy, right? You guys are like, what? So again, knife parallel with the board. All I do is give it a little lift, and then press on it. All you want to do is smash it. Okay. You might have a little bit more chunks there. Not a big issue. Give it a little chop, and then you just continue. Go slow. And lift it. Keep it parallel. Lift it. Keep it parallel. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and saute our vegetables. These flashbacks of working at the restaurant. Yes, chef, 2 orders of veggies on its way. I turn off the heat. This does get pretty hot. There we go. Keep it going. Carrots were blanched. A little bit of throw them in a boiling water. Start off, of course, with cold water. Once it comes to a boil, once you reach the tenderness, the consistency that you want, the texture, then you throw them in an ice bath. Just shock them to cool them down. Okay. Good. Awesome. All right, our chicken is ready. Excellent. You can use tongs. You can use spoon if you will, wooden spoon, just to get them stirred. If you want to deglaze, you can put some white wine. I would recommend that. But that's totally your call. You can just leave them put maybe some chicken stock in there. Give it some liquid. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and cut our chicken. All right, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Would you mind putting those on the plate, please? Oh yeah. Okay, our veggies are almost done. Depending on your likeness. What I have here, guys, is the pan that we seared our chicken in. I'm gonna get that hot a little bit. I'm gonna add some brandy to it. Okay. I want to deglaze all those yum-yums on the bottom, that delicious flavor, that fun that we call in the culinary world. Okay. I want to go ahead and grab that. I did get rid of some of the excess oil. You don't need that oil. Okay. That oil you can just push aside. It's part of it. I want those yum-yums on the bottom. That's what I want. So I'm gonna deglaze it. Let that reduce sec, which means you want to have a little bit of liquid left over. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with our glace de viande, okay? All right, here we go. How much time we got?
We have another question, sir. Take your time. We go over all.
Go ahead, come on.
No worries. So the question is there any special brandy for someone to use for cooking, or could it be anything?
Any special brandy? No, oh my God, I forgot the name, and I bought some maybe 3 months ago. Honestly, guys, I just go to Specs, and I taught the gentleman and a couple of ladies that work there, very helpful. They'll let you know. They're not gonna try to sell you an expensive bottle. I think I spent, what was it? I think it was $12, $10, something like that. I don't remember the name though. But yeah, you don't need an expensive brandy. All right, so I'm gonna cut this on the bias, which just means at a slight angle. And I know I'm doing big chunks. Because, why am I going to tease myself with a small piece, I'm just going to get two of them. All right. Got my plate up over here. Checking my presentation. You guys can see I'm fanning it out here on the board instead of me fanning it out here on the plate. Plate's ready to go. We don't want any movement once we let go. Because something will shift, something will mess up our beautiful plate presentation. And then we have to start all over, which we do not want to do. Oh my God. These beard guards need like a drool blocker because, yeah. All right, here we go. You guys can see. You guys see that? Cool. You guys notice I pulled the pan. Sorry, I pulled the pan away from the flame. You never want to pour alcohol directly over the flame itself. One key thing to remember: if you do flambe, hotter the pan, higher the flame. Okay, if I pull it off and I'm over here talking to you guys for like a minute, and then I pour my alcohol on, I put it back, you might get a small flame. Okay. And this was about maybe a cup and a half of stock itself that I reduced. Get this out of the way. Messing with our presentation. You guys can see the flavor. The sauce, like I said, keeping it on the flame itself, the pilot, it did reduce slightly a bit too much. We just have to add a little bit more stock, which we don't have. But it's still, guys, it still was enough to coat, make the plate look delicious. And there we go. Simple, colorful. You want me to try it? Or you want me to just leave it alone?
Hey, Jeff, they're saying how beautiful it is and how amazing it looks. That looks phenomenal, Chef. Yeah, people are
Thank you.
yummy. Thank you. We need smell vision. Oh,
But see the roulade itself, that's what I'm saying. Folk, it's just like making sushi. You want to have a beautiful interior through and through. Yeah, excuse me.
how is it, Chef?
I'm tearing right now. Like there's a tear on this side. I'm not going to show you.
That's
Delicious.
awesome.
A little bit of, you got crunchy from the outside. And guys, this is why you have layers, Okay. Do I have like 10 seconds more?
Absolutely, Chef.
No. Okay. So close your eyes if you will. The skin itself, I'll paint you a picture. From the outside, you're obviously biting into the center. So, that's the crunchiness of the skin. Then you get the juiciness, the fattiness that covered, blanketed the chicken leg itself, the thigh. And then you get into that delicious, sweetness with the apple, saltiness with the salt, pepper, and then of course your earthiness with a little bit of earthiness with the spinach itself. It makes I'm gonna take another bite. Thank you guys very much. If there are no more questions, I'm gonna take a nap after this. It's gonna put me in a food coma, but please try it at home. Easy to do.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation today. Thank you, audience, for coming and then seeing the EPCC Culinary Arts do what they do best. Oh, we do have one quick question. Red or green?
Awesome. Yeah, great question. If you like the tartness, because remember, like that's perfect. Yeah, I would go with the Granny Smith. You always want to balance. If you have too much richness, what's a way to balance that and counteract, that flavor is to go ahead and add a little bit of acid. In this case, the Granny Smith apple would be perfect. Okay. I only eat Granny Smith apples if I have peanut butter. I can't just eat them like that. Like certain people I know, like I don't see how they can do that. Well, this guy does. I can't. But yes, inside here, perfect. Thank you, Becky.
All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful semester next week. It'll be the conclusion for finals and everything. Thank you again to EPCC Culinary Arts for their wonderful presentation. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and we hope you did too. That concludes our TVEs for this semester. We'll see you next semester on January 21st. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.